So from your constructive rest position, lying on the floor, knees together, feet slightly apart, go ahead and enthusiastically rub your hands together, creating a little bit of heat and friction. And then you'll take your palms just a couple of centimeters from your eyes and allow the eyes to soften and close. And allow the forehead to soften. And once again, maybe exhale the idea or the word let go or apiseto. And allow the head to drop back. Let the head drop. Let the shoulders drop. Good, and I'm going to show you one of my favorite neck reset, sort of a corrective exercise from this position. So bend your elbows and reach the fingertips up towards the ceiling. And then if you've just come in, please mute yourselves. Press your skull back, right? Similarly to what we've already done with the towel. So I'm pressing the skull back so much, the head back, that maybe the shoulder blades lift. Take your shoulder blades together and press your head back. You want to have a little bit more of a curve through the back of the neck. So for some of us, this will involve lifting the chin slightly. And when I say slightly, I mean a couple of centimeters or 5-10 degrees. Not fish pose Matsyasana, my enthusiastic yogi friends. So we're pressing the head back into the floor. We're pressing the elbows down to lift the chest. And you will have noticed that the curve through the lower back is also a little bit more enhanced. We want this, right? Especially for those of you with lower back stuff, but for all of us, it's kind of the opposite of the flexion or rounding that we live in. So a little bit of extension. And you can stay here for about a minute. Probably been there already. Let's take 3 more breaths together. Smooth, even breath in and slow breath out. Right, so relaxing the face, 2 more. And 1 more. Good. And then rest for a moment. You can windshield wipe the knees side to side. And this is how we roll in the yoga room. We always have participating guest teachers. This is Chuppy. And we'll do the opposite now. So a little bit of strengthening for your throat, right? So we really don't do anything with the throat. And it also supports the head. So coming into the same position, but this time we're going to lift the head just off the floor, right? So the tendency is to lift the head a lot, and that's not what we're doing here. That's going to bypass these deeper neck muscles that we want to encourage to awaken. So you can even take your hand underneath the skull is the head, right? And just feel, just a little bit of space, enough for the palm, no higher, because then you're getting into your abs and you're not activating the throat muscles. And for most of us, we're already shaking a little bit. And I promise you, this is the most awful thing we'll be doing today. Everything else will be much more pleasant. Right? So once again, just to the point of fatigue, and then maybe rest for a moment, and then take maybe 3 extra breaths coming back in. And then if your neck is not in spasm, this is important, right? If you're spasming and this is like too much, this isn't for you today. This goes with anything we do during the course of our time together. But you could also just turn your face 10 degrees to the right and inhale center, just a tiny bit to the left, and inhale center. And then rest, right? And you can make any small movements that you need to shake it off and let it go. And we're going to come back into the first variation once again, just to really imprint in our body the desired outcome from our work today, which one of it is to realign the head in relationship to the rest of the body. Bend your elbows, take your shoulders a little bit high, a little bit up towards the ears, and then squeeze the shoulder blades in together. I'm going to show you the sort of fleshy version just in case. All right, so to come into this, we're going to lift the shoulders up slightly, roll them back, squeeze the shoulder blades in, and then the lower back is lifted. I'll show it one more time. Shoulders up a little bit, pressing the head back, squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then I have a curve through my lower back where I can sneak my hand underneath. And I have a curve through the back of my neck. All right, so this is the S curve in the spine that we actually want. So about 30 seconds here. Once again, imprinting the desired effect of our practice, and then we'll move into slightly more active practice. But, you know, if you only have one thing you can do on a given day, this would be it. I'm just gonna allow the latecomers to come in. Relax your mouth, couple of breaths. Maybe exhale through the mouth. Good. And then go ahead and release. And we're going to start to work with the shoulders and the arms. So take your arms up as if you were, you know, like a zombie. I'm just gonna make some space for Yasu to also share. And then move your arms up towards the ceiling and then press them down. So you're gonna work the shoulder blades here as if you were plugging and unplugging the heads of the arm bones in and out of the sockets. Right? So moving with these very simple movements, but very effective in reshaping the relationship between head and neck. And as I said, you know, we'll do a couple of these and move into sort of a yoga flow practice, but this is useful. And then go ahead and take one arm back and up and the other. Very elemental, my dear Watson. Right? And then we're going to add a little bit of core, because a little bit of core makes everything better, including our posture and including our pain or lack thereof. So here we do want the lower back to press down. Okay? So about 90 degrees with the legs. The tendency is first to want to bring them in like an apanasana from yoga. But here we want more to 90-90 position. So feet, knees, and hips in flexion. Scapulae. Arms up. Reach your right thumb back. And inhale, bring it up. Reach your left heel down, keeping everything in flexion, and bring it up. Left arm back. Exhale up. Right heel. Good. So notice I'm keeping the knees and feet in flexion. I'm not straightening the leg, right? And then we do opposite arm and leg. So left heel, right thumb, and center. Right heel, left thumb. This is fantastic for all these sparking new synapses in the brain. It's called dead bug in functional movement world. And again, I like stuff that works several different body systems at once, and this is definitely one of them. So let's agree you'll do 3 more. Notice if you're rushing through it and see if you can slow it down a little bit. No momentum needed. I tend to always prefer to do less repetitions with sort of good alignment, moving with resistance, than do 50,000 in a haphazard, rushed way. Good. One more round each side. And then hug your knees into your chest. Take a moment. Move a little side to side. And once again, remind the head to drop. You don't need to be using your head, or rather your neck muscles at all. And then let the knees drop to one side. Just an easy twist here. And we're going to take rotations through the opposite arm, right? So, and then instead of looking in the opposite direction of the knees like we do in yoga, for today, take the same ear down. So I'm facing in the same direction as my knees, because my knees are to the left. My nose is also to my left. And then I'm circling a little bit as if I were swimming. I'm letting the head drop and the eyes quiet down. And this is very relaxing for most of us. You might even hear it in my voice. I'm finally sort of settling into this process and practice. And then wherever you feel that the sort of the space below the armpit feels like it's getting the biggest stretch, stay there for a moment. And if you're feeling it in the shoulder joint, activate your arm or bend the elbow. You don't want to be stretching the shoulder. This is not a shoulder stretch. This is for our pectoralis muscles, right? Good, and then it's very lazily inhale to center, exhale, take it to the other side. And once again, for today, we're taking the same ear down. So I'm facing in the same direction as my knees. And then I'm exploring a little bit of movement with the opposite arm. As if I were swimming. You know, on one side will certainly be a little different. We can allow and honor that. And come back to your breath and keep allowing the exhalation to soften the areas of tension. And then rolling to that side, use your hands to come up onto your mat. I'm coming into a little bit of cat and cow, or cat and cat, as the case may be. I like my wrists slightly forward of the shoulders, not directly below, it's kinder on my wrists. And then, you know, we can inhale and open the chest. Collarbones can smile, gazing forward. And exhaling, tailbone to chin as I drop the head and push the floor away. And for today, we really want to focus on getting into the upper back a little more. And using the strength in the arms. And then as I'm pulling in and exhaling, can I drop the head and soften the eyes? And then we're not limited to just this sort of linear kirisi or movement. So we can take a few rotations. And I love bending my elbows here and making a few circles with as many parts of the body as I can. Let the head and neck go. And this is almost a sensuous movement, right? But I'd love for you to spend maybe like just 10 seconds allowing for some free movement. Beautiful. Maybe an exhale through the mouth. Letting go of a little bit of tension there. Good. And then we'll come into scapular push-ups. So the push-ups, tonomoplaton. So from the same position, obviously give your wrists a little break if they need it. And from the same quadrupedal position, we're going to keep the torso stable now. And we can make sure that our core is engaged by tucking the toes and lifting the knees for just a moment. Finding a little length from tailbone to the crown of the head. And then taking the knees down, but keeping a little bit of tone through the core. So I'm not letting everything just kind of splay open and hang out. Beautiful. And then what we're doing is sinking the chest between the shoulders and pushing the floor away. So I'm not allowing my spine to move. So I'm not doing cat and cow like we did before, but instead I'm stabilizing through my deep core muscles and doing a little bit of movement through the shoulder blades. So if you focus on your shoulder blades, they squeeze in towards one another and they move apart. Right? So this shoulder blade movement and mobility and stretching and making space and allowing for a little bit of circulation of blood and synovial fluid after the coaguló, it goes a long way towards easing the tightness and issues through the upper back. So again, we want to do, you know, a whole bunch until we get a little tired, and then do a couple more. But for today's sake, let's do 3 more. Good. And then we'll go ahead and sit back on our heels, or sit in any way that's comfortable for you. Shake off your wrists for a moment, shake out the hands. And as you're sitting, notice how your head and tailbone relate to one another. Good. And then interlace your fingers behind the back. Right? And we're pulling the wrists slightly apart here. Take the shoulders up slightly and back. Right? So there's a reason I keep instructing the shoulders up. Most of us drop the shoulders down and forward. Right? And even like in yoga or Pilates, you know, a lot of times we say shoulders away from the ears. We say that a lot. But in fact, there's a time and a place where the shoulders should be up. And doing a more biomechanically aware practice is one of them. Not so much based on aesthetics, but how we're built. Take your wrists or hands to the right, and to your waist or to your right hip, and drop the right ear to the right shoulder. Now I'm rolling the left shoulder back a little bit and drawing the left shoulder blade down the rib cage. And then if you like a little bit of movement here, small movement with the chin, couple of breaths. All right. And then extend the arms straight, inhale. Exhale, take it to the other side. And so you're using the left hand to snuggle the hand there. Roll the shoulder back, drop the left ear down. Relax the mouth and see if you can inhale into the lower back. And so pour the inhalation in to the lower back. Someone said, sorry, are we in Zoom or Zoo? Yeah, this is the Yogoyatospito. I would never consider kicking my kiddies out of the yoga class. So yeah, hashtag sorry, not sorry. This is Peaches. Come to center, take a breath in. Exhale, fold forward. Reach the arms back, let the head drop. Right, so it's fine to let the hips lift up off the pelvis. And then see about moving your shoulders a little bit to the left and to the right as you let the head go. If the neck is a little sensitive, I would keep the head off the floor. But do take a moment and allow your eyes to drop. Maybe exhale through the mouth. And then come up slowly. Drop the tailbone and slowly roll up one vertebra at a time. Head comes up last. Beautiful. Take a couple of rotations through the shoulders. Feel free to switch your position if the lower body starts singing to you. You can sit cross-legged, you can sit in a chair. You know, you're at home. Do whatever you need to do. A little bit of a side bend to the left. Inhale, reach the right arm up. Exhale, drop the left ear to the left shoulder and reach the right fingertips on the diagonal away from the shoulder. A little bit of movement here. So after we did a little bit of activating and engaging, now we're ready to stretch. You know, sometimes, especially in the yoga world, we stretch. That's mostly what we do. You know, stretching isn't always the solution, and certainly not the complete solution. So if you're moving your head, find an angle that feels good, and then stay there for an extra breath. Exhale maybe through the mouth. On your next inhalation, reach the right arm up and over. And then exhale, come up through center, pause. Rest your hands on your thighs. Turn over the right shoulder, look back. Inhale, center. Exhale, look to the left. Inhale, center. Arms reach up on your in-breath. Exhale, take a side bend to the other side. Keep the opposite sit bone heavy. And then as you exhale, allow the left arm to reach. Bend the elbow a little bit so you're not pulling the shoulder up, but releasing it down. And drop the right ear to the right shoulder. And again, play with the angle of the head. Try your chin towards the armpit, nose towards the ceiling. And then find something that feels good for you for today and hang out for a few breaths. Okay, so we do need the movement, especially these Corona quarantine days, but we also want to stay in a shape long enough for it to be productive. And one more exhale. Beautiful. Reach the left arm up, inhale. Exhale, come up. Beautiful. I'm going to show you the next one, so you won't see me when you come into it. From all fours, right arm comes underneath the left. It's like thread the needle for those of you who do a bunch of yoga. But then we're going to take the fingertips of the left hand and walk them towards the crown of the head, lifting the left elbow up. I'll talk you through it, but I wanted to give you the preview. So go ahead and come onto all fours. Good. And then as you inhale, reach the right arm up. Take a breath in, maybe see the sun with both eyes. Exhale, bending left elbow, reach the arm away from you a lot. And carefully, gently take the right side of the face to the floor or your mat. Lift the left elbow up, come onto the fingertips of the left hand, or you can stay on the palm, but I find it more effectively accesses my shoulder blade if I lift onto the fingertips. So your left shoulder blade is moving in towards the midline, and the right shoulder blade is moving away from the spine. And then maybe last couple of breaths, you roll a little bit more towards the back of the head, if that's appropriate and honorable for today. Maybe an exhale through the mouth once again. Good. And inhale slowly, carefully, nicely. Exhale, press through all fours. And then as you inhale, reach the left arm up. Follow it with both eyes. Exhaling, weave the hand underneath, or rather behind the wrist. Come onto the fingertips of the right hand. And then see if you maybe have a couple more inches. You can move the left arm off to the right. And then walk the right hand towards the crown of the head. Lift the right elbow. Also working within that realm of activating one shoulder blade and stretching the other. Right, so the shoulder blades are repositories for what's called trigger points for so many of us. It's referred pain, adrenaplasticos tonos, from neck stuff right into the periphery of the shoulder blades. Maybe an exhale through the mouth. And then slowly come back up to all fours. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. Just a couple of cat-cow. Feeling things out. And one more. Good. And then we'll come to lie onto our front. So Brumita is in prone position. If you've just come in, please mute your microphones. I can hear someone, and so can everyone else. Right, so take a moment here, as we did earlier, to make a pillow with your hands. Rest your forehead. If you have a pillow, you can also rest your forehead. Once again, return to the natural result of the breath. So the inhale expands the lower back and the pelvic diaphragm. So inhale down and wide, expansive, spreading. Exhaling to release forward and down. And really, once again, if it helped you, come back to sort of the let go mantra.
Let the head go. Let the weight of the head be received by the hands. Inhale, let. Exhale, go. Or in Greek, something like akuseto, asto. As a matter of fact, what's something in your day, not even in your life, but in your day that you could let go of? I've got a couple. Allow the next couple of exhalations to engage with and enable that letting go. Right? Surrendering it to the earth, whatever it is.